Hello everyone, and now welcome to a game between Moon versus Foggy. Well, trainer versus master versus the student in this Night Elf versus Night Elf mirror match. We have Moon spawning as the teal Night Elf player on the bottom right hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Foggy has spawned as the blue Night Elf player on the top left. Let's go ahead and speed things up to 8 times speed. Let's see what is in store for us in this Night Elf mirror match, as it will be a Priestess of the Moon going up against a Warden first. So different heroes straight out of the gate as we're coming across that 2-minute mark. Now, 2-minute mark, heroes will pop on out, and then, well, this game is surely underway as the Warden looks to clear up many of these units early on. Now, what is interesting about this matchup and the Warden first choice is that the Warden solo hero can often do a lot of damage once it gets to level 6. That's no surprise to anyone. But now that I'm considering and thinking about the game overall, normally there are a lot of corpses to use in a Night Elf mirror match. Archers, Dryads, a lot of 2 supply units are often used, and well, those are often quote-unquote go wide armies, mainly the Dryads, so those Spirits of Vengeance will be, well, acting up quite considerably. Warden now trying to make its way back out across the map, perhaps try to cause a little bit of problems for that Priestess of the Moon. Shadow Strike onto the Priestess of the Moon. No, Shadow Strike onto the Archer. Archer now in a little bit of trouble, taking a little bit of damage, and now trying to head back home. Is going to be able to get back that little bit of damage there. Moon needs a little bit more damage and, well, unable to finish off that Archer as it's still taking a little bit of that damage over time. Trying to head over to that other Moon. Well, is it going to be able to make it? Yes, it does. And 2 rounds of a Shadow Strike used to try and take down that Warden there, as the, well, Archer is pretty much playing run around the hills now, and we're going to see the Archer ending up getting denied. Beautifully done by Foggy, as we are looking at Moon now severely behind, taking quite a bit of damage with no experience to show for it, even though he did take down an Archer. Level 2 on that Priestess of the Moon, Searing Arrows and True Shot Aura. That damage does add up extremely quickly as the Warden forced to flee and run all the way back home. Back on the other side, we are looking at dual Ancient of Wars. We could be going into Huntresses, as the Hunter's Hall is now getting trained up. Meanwhile, no tech to tier 2 either, as we are looking at well, a Tree of Life and another Ancient of War down to the south here. It looks like we are looking at an expansion attempt while trying to ramp up production as well. One thing to note, though, is that since both sides are not... Well, no, I take it back. Moon is going to be teching the tier 2. He is not setting up his secret Moon bases anywhere, and he wants to get that experience bonus, perhaps for a solo Warden, at least for a little bit of time. He could also try to go for a Panda early on, allowing that Breath of Fire to really rack up a large amount of damage. Tide Hunters, yep. Coming back to Ancient of War, absorbing a little bit of damage here. We are going to see some repairs. The Warden, well, looking to get to level 3 as quickly as possible, as that level 2 Shadow Strike is, well, another level in terms of damage, a sudden power spike anytime you get an odd level on those heroes. Oh, wow, Moon versus Foggy. Yep, definitely should be a great matchup, as we are looking at the Ancient of War still absorbing a bit of damage here. Warden will not get to level 3 off of this creep camp. Needs to creep up a little bit more, as we are still looking at that tech to tier 2 to complete. Meanwhile, the Ancient, the Tree of Life, excuse me, it is an Ancient technically, still making its way off to the north here and will be setting up an expansion momentarily. Level 2 Warden still needs a little bit of experience to get to level 3. Huntresses are now joining in on the battle alongside a lot of those archers. And what is the follow-up play for Moon going to be? Foggy has the economic advantage. He currently has a slight hero level advantage. And what is he going to do to try and punish his opponent, as the Warden finally gets to level 3 here? Level 2 Shadow Strike straight up onto the Warden. Warden now trying to retreat back. It is going to be a little bit slower. The Warden getting in some easy attacks there. A little bit of that damage over time, as the Warden now tries to flee once more. All right, there's a blink, there's a Shadow Strike, and that could be near certain death, as the Warden, unable to get within melee range, needs to get a little bit more damage. And what is this? The Goblin Tinker as the second hero. All right, Goblin Tinker as the second hero, fighting alongside the Warden. That is not what I was expecting whatsoever, as the Warden is now perhaps going to be placing down Clockwork goblins in order to put pressure here on this expansion, making sure that there is no true economic advantage. All right, I thought for a while it was going to be a solo warden style of play, but instead, Moon playing or pulling a new trick out of his playbook, getting in the clockwork goblins and the pocket factory to put pressure on this gold mine. Meanwhile, the glaive bounce from those huntresses, adding up a little bit of damage as we see another shadow strike go down. Warden using that shadow meld pretty consistently, but now needs to back away, taking quite a bit of damage, now retreating back as we look back off to the north. Those clockwork goblins getting that tree of life down to about half life. Ancient Protector trying to be added here. Meanwhile, Ancient Protector trying to be added by Moon as well. Both sides putting in that pressure as the Warden is down to the south, trying to create a little bit of separation indeed. All right, continuing to blink back or to move back and forth. The blink is available, but mana is low on Moon's Warden as the clockwork pocket factory is still putting out pressure and damage. However, it may not be able to take down this tree of life as there are 4 wisps under quad repair for that tree of life right now. All right, still unable to hunt or entangle that gold mine so far as the units of Foggy trying to create a little bit of distance for that Warden while trying to create a little bit of distance off to the north, making sure that the Tinker is unable to dive on in from the north either. All right, Ancient Protectors are being placed down here. Perhaps moving that Ancient Protector off to the north will shoo away any of those Huntresses with that piercing damage, and with that, that may be enough to come away with the victory. All right, Clockwork Goblins trying to make their way over. That Ancient Protector just a bit too far away from being able to stop that entangling gold mine as the Pocket Factory trying to crank out those Clockwork Goblins enough. All right, are we going to see this Ancient Protector move on over? Yes, it is. A little bit of damage will be dealt. It is going to eat its way over as a glaive now making its position here known to try and stop this Ancient Protector. Ancient Protector going to be absorbing a bit of damage. Wisp trying to get in some repairs as well. Only one glaive thrower, though, as a lot of damage being absorbed by that Ancient Protector. Meanwhile, the Goblin Tinker trying to make its way back over. Warden going to come across inside, perhaps getting some damage. There's a shadow strike onto the Priestess of the Moon as the Warden, considering its options, should easily take down this Glaive Thrower as the Glaive Thrower only has 300 hit points and moves slowly, but instead going after the Priestess of the Moon and putting pressure there. All right, Glaive Thrower now trying to retreat back. There goes the Ancient Protector of Moon as the Warden looks to take down its target. There's another Shadow Strike, is going to be able to finish it off. Scroll of Town Portal heading back off to the north. It needs the heal. The damage over time tick could be very bad news as the Tinker falls at level 1. Level 3 on that Priestess of the Moon, down to 4 hit points. It gets taken down, but that was a denied hit from, I believe, an Ancient Protector or that Tree of Life, as the Warden doesn't gain any new experience. All right, attacks going back and forth across that center line here, trying to finish things off. More repairs coming underway. The Wisp, are they going to be able to keep this Ancient Protector live long enough? That is the question now, as Wisp after Wisp is getting destroyed, and the Warden may actually get to level 4. Huntresses trying to finish off this last Ancient Protector off to the north here. Foggy wants to get his, entangled gold mine fully saturated. Finally has it up and running, but nothing on the inside, so still no economic advantage after all this time. Meanwhile, the Goblin Tinker, Potion of Invulnerability used to stave off one of those bits of damage as the Priestess of the Moon, tries to rack up more damage against those units still. Priestess of the Moon does get up to level 4. Level 2 Searing Arrows are available as this Warden, low on hit points, taking a little bit of damage, but should be able to get away with no real problem. All right, continuing the fight here. Not quite sure what it is hoping to do here, as the Priestess, or the Huntress of Foggy, could have gotten into the front. There is a quick blink, though, and for a nice timely escape. Back down to the south, we're looking at a tier 2 low hit point Huntress. Foggy does have a level 1 Goblin Tinker with barely any experience. After all of that pressure and engagement off to the north, he was only able to get a little bit of experience and delay the entangling of that gold mine. Moon does have a larger army. Meanwhile, Foggy wants to start to prop himself up on his economic advantage, as he is sitting on a solo Priestess of the Moon, even and at tier 2 as well. No second hero as of yet, as the Huntresses are now looking to retreat back. Perhaps another Ancient Protector will be needed. And are we going to be going for Nature's Blessing? No, not quite yet. Now, as Moon rotates and tries to attack from the other side, putting in pressure on some of the other buildings that are a bit more exposed, the Goblin Tinker should be able to take down some of these buildings, and now we are looking at an Alchemist as that second hero. So Alchemist as a second hero coming in from Foggy for that healing spray. Staff of Teleportation gonna bring the Alchemist into the battle here, and here you are. There is that healing spray to heal up many of those units now. One Moonwell already lost. The second Moonwell could be lost as well, as the Hunter's Hall is also taking a little bit of damage. No real home field advantage here any longer, as the Moonwells and no Ancient of Wonders to try and replenish some of those lost hit points. More damage adding on through Priestess of the Moon, trying to put in pressure here. Going to be able to take down one Huntress who is trying to hide, but the Sentinel is exposing them right there. Foggy now looking to retreat back. A lot of damage adding up onto those all of these heroes here, as the Priestess of the Moon fighting alongside the Alchemist, able to get in a little bit of heals. There's a Dust of I thought it was a Dust of Appearance, revealing against all of these units now, as the Warden down to 467 hit points. Going to go ahead and blink back, gets a Shadow Strike, finishes off the Priestess of the Moon, and now looking to get away. The Warden really looking to hunt down any of those fleeing heroes and take it down with such a powerful kit and powerful tools to get in the position constantly. The Moon now looking to finish off the remainder of, well, these Moonwells and also this Altar of Elders in the center. We are looking at the center map down over here. The Priestess of the Moon did get resurrected back at the tavern, as we are looking at full saturation on this gold mine now, but there is still, well, relatively low on hit points with no repairs in sight. All right, Foggy looking to lose his Hunter's Hall here and may end up losing his main base if he is not careful. Looking to try and get into a proper engagement here, but without the Priestess of the Moon and that True Shot aura, the damage output of Foggy's army is just simply too low. Hunter's Hall has been removed. No additional Huntresses can be trained at this time, as the Priestess of the Moon still hiding next to the Goblin Merchant Shop, unsure of what to do next. All right, Warden getting very close to level 5, and once we get level 3 Shadow Strike, I believe level 1 heroes just simply cannot stand up to it, even if it is a high-strength hero with a lot of hit points, such as the Alchemist. All right, coming back through, units continuing to engage back and forth. The economic advantage could turn the tide, but this is going to be something that Foggy needs to be extremely careful with. Meanwhile, down to the south, there is only 10 minutes of mining left on the main base, and we are teching to Tier 3 by Moon. So Moon opting to go for Tier 3, maybe going into Dryads or Bears or Mountain and Giants. Not 100% sure. We'll have to keep a very close lookout there. All right, coming back through Tier 2, Foggy's base pretty much completely wide open. He doesn't have that many buildings. New Hunter's Hall has been placed down, now trying to repair this entangled gold mine and trying to hold on to the economic advantage that he has. Still, I am surprised that Moon has not cleared out one of his expansions to try and at least set up or get it propped up a little bit. He is running around with these Huntresses here with not much going for him at all, and he only needs a little bit of additional experience to get that level 3 Shadow Strike, which would be such a power spike there. This is not going to be enough experience. 37 experience at level 4 from a creep, I don't believe is going to be enough. Nope. Taking that down easily though, and now still wandering around here. Coming back down to the south here, we are looking at Foggy rebuilding his army. Foggy actually has the larger army right now, 37 supply compared to 34, and is currently sitting in low upkeep. He does have a little bit of additional protection and a lot of Moonwells to try and heal. But as I mentioned earlier, the hero levels of Moon, it may just become a bit too much, as the Warden now tries to head away. Where is it going to try and go? A little bit of damage, and well, taking all of that damage there, trying to blink back once more. All right, Warden coming back to the other side. Where is that Sentinel Scout going to take a little bit more damage as well, as it tries to, well, run on by. Exchanging of blows, Priestess of the Moon versus that Warden. Warden may try and go after that Archer. Not going to go there. Instead, we see a Scroll of Town Portal, and in comes the army, or is that a Staff of Teleport? No, Scroll of Town Portal coming back across here. Archers, heals coming back across here, as we are looking at damage adding up. Moon, and now seeing that level 5 on that Warden. Scroll of Town Portal will be needed to head back out. Goblin Tinker now at level 3, as well, a timely escape, just enough to survive. As this game goes longer, though, Moon is going to find himself in a difficult spot. He is getting and transitioning into bears now that he is at mastery training. Meanwhile, the Priestess of the Moon and now the Alchemist will be able to level up a little bit more as there's a bit of reprieve in the action. Robe of Magi most likely will be given to the Alchemist a little bit more intelligence for more mana and that healing spray. Always helpful when the Alchemist is able to effectively heal a large portion of the army. All right, Shadow Strike finishes off a Huntress right there as the, well, Warden now sitting at 5.25, looking for the day when it gets to level 6. Down to the south, Goblin Tinker fighting against this, 744 creep camp that we've all seen on Turtle Rock, and now the Tree of Life is transitioning over as well. Gargantuan Sea Turtle should easily get taken down. We should be looking at some rejuvenations onto some low hit point Huntresses, and every time a new Clockwork Goblin comes out, that Gargantuan Sea Turtle actually chooses to go after those Clockwork Goblins since they are what it thinks is low hit point units. 80 hit points, another way of trying to play with the AI in order to mitigate some of that damage. All right, Goblin Tinker looking to finish things off here. Huntresses and Druid of the Claw should be able to easily heal up once again as the Warden is playing a constant harassment game. Warden now down to 368 hit points, continuing to fight its way through and now trying to back away as we are going into dual Ancients of Lore for Foggy as well. We could be going into Dryads or Druids of the Claw, maybe even Mountain Giants if we see a tech to tier 3. Nature's Blessing also getting upgraded. All right. Goblin Tinker sitting at level 4 places down a healing ward. Going to be able to heal back up off to the side here. There's a rejuvenation. The Warden should not be anywhere near this fight then. If it can just heal away from this entire fight. It's not even participating until just now. Going to try and blink away, making sure that this Goblin Tinker gets all of the necessary experience. Scroll of the Beast, not the best item in this situation as he already has Druids of the Claw. May sell that for that precious gold. Off to the north, Warden looking to put pressure onto these Dryads. Dryads now looking to retreat back. More Dryads getting trained up. Dual Ancients of Lore in that frontline position, trying to protect the main expansion as Nature's Blessing is still not done. Scroll of Town Portal going to teleport all the way back home. And now, well, units are retreating back easily. Priestess of the Moon is going to stay at level 4. Alchemist is going to stay at level 3. Decent repairs here as the Warden continuing to absorb more and more damage and then finally tries to blink away. Level 3 Shadow Strike, so powerful. That initial damage coupled with that damage over time, you can see that full hit point Huntress nearly down to 150 hit points there. And so anytime you see a 350 or 450 hit point Huntress, a Shadow Strike would indeed kill it if there is no natural regeneration or any healing getting underway. Foggy sitting at 68 supply now, a little bit of an engagement, and now it feels as though, well, with the Goblin Tinker sitting at level 4, it could make some sort of play, perhaps trying to put pressure onto the main base or do damage on to Foggy's army. And the earlier aggression did take its toll on Foggy, but Foggy seems to have nicely bounced back, and it looks as though his army, even though it isn't as a high tier, consisting of more Huntresses and not that many Druids of the Claw, can still hold its own. Coming back to this side here, this expansion will easily get cleared up. Goblin Tinker gonna stay at level 4 still. Claws of Attack +5. And we're looking at that, well, Tide Hunter to get taken down as well. Goblin Tinker needs a little bit more experience. And is he gonna go for that item? Yes, he will be going for that item, picking that up right there. Meanwhile, Warden, there's a reveal. Warden quickly trying to blink away, and it takes a little bit of damage over time. Dust of Appearance would work better as the Warden was able to blink away right after that reveal. And the Warden still has to be very careful. And now are we going to see a little bit of damage? Slow Poison right there. Once again, Warden down to 307 hit points and then hides once again. Using Shadow Meld very effectively, Moon has been able to just constantly put pressure on Foggy. while keeping that Warden alive if she ever gets low on hit points. Meanwhile, we're looking at the Alchemist, still has level 1 Acid Bomb, doesn't have level 2, and without level 2 Acid Bomb, may not want to go into a fight where your opponent has Roar. That Roar bonus damage actually quite significant, getting a +9 damage on those bears and +5 damage on those, or more damage on those huntresses, even before you add in that true shot, or actually no true shot aura. All right, little bit of damage. Warden, well, Sentinel Scout, and now that Warden going to be in big trouble. Is it going to actually have a problem? Where is it going? There, finally escapes away down to 206 hit points. Needs to use up a lot of those Moonwells back at home, and that's what we're looking at here. All right, a couple of Moonwells have been drained as we're looking at in the gate. All right, Scroll of Protection coupled with no Roar, just Devotion Aura, so very high armor on those Druids of the Claw as the unit looks to retreat back. Are we going to see any death? Yes, we are. One Huntress does end up getting taken down. No Roar was used, though, on the Druids of the Claw, but these Druids of the Claw with Devotion Aura are going to be much more difficult to overcome. Dryads, a Priestess of the Moon. A unit's going to go ahead and try and engage. The Goblin Tinker already seeing that level 5 Ancient of Wars joining in on the battle here in this front line position, trying to absorb some of that damage. Pocket Factory being built in the back, Healing Spray being used along the backside there, trying to keep up some of those units alive and well. All right, Shadow Strike easily finishing off some units. More Dryads now pushing in across the position here as the Warden being forced to retreat from the backside there. Moon losing a bear, giving the Priestess of the Moon level 5 and level 3 True Shot Aura, using a Scroll of Healing as well, as that damage is adding up nicely. All right, there is a big Roar, a big damage bonus coming across for Moon's units. The Roar plus the Devotion Aura could take a big toll, but another Druid of the Claw taken down while in Druid form. And, well, who is winning out on this battle as Moon seems to be losing quite a few bears here. Even with that Healing Ward in the back, it is just simply out of position and not healing enough of those units quickly enough as, well, finally that gets abolished down. A couple of low hit point bears could be easily taken down here. More damage coming back on through. Ancients of War could easily just tap that and then take it down, as there is still a bit more healing getting underway. Warden, Staff of Preservations for the save, Staff of Teleportation to head back out. We're looking at 61 supply compared to 74. Foggy coming out ahead, but still behind in terms of hero level. Dual bases now underway for Moon. Moon has set up, well, this expansion down to the south was never fully saturated. Now this Tree of Eternity perhaps needs to move. This base will soon be up and operational, and this base may not get up and operational, as we're looking at the Dryads trying to put pressure there. Off to the north, there's only about 5.5 minutes of mining left on that expansion, so Moon, if he can hold on for 5.5 minutes, should be able to come out okay, as then he will have the economic advantage. Alchemists continuing to push their way through. A couple of Dryads are all going to get taken down, but this is going to get trapped into a corner here as the Druid of the Claw tries to come across here, but a quick Scroll of Town Portal for the quick exit. All right, the Tree of Ages already making its way down to the south here. Expansion off to the north is the main protection, and now Foggy knows that he needs to put in a pressure somewhere, forcing that Warden to try and retreat back. Wisp are already making their retreat back here as well, Ancient of War, and this is going to be a timing situation. The Warden could try and go after the Tree of Ages, taking down one Wisp already. Does have an Orb of Venom. Shadow Strike, there's some multiple detonations coming back across multiple units. Another Wisp could get taken down as the Warden is looking to get to level 5. Meanwhile, at the main expansion of Moon needs to keep everything alive and well here as the Priestess of the Moon offering some big damage bonuses across all of these Dryads, but there are no Roars anywhere to be seen. Ancient of War taking quite a bit of damage. Acid Bomb also removing some of that precious armor, and while healing up as well. There's a big Roar as well, and now here's the fight that we were looking for. 75 supply compared to 60. Some of the Ancients joining in on the battle. The Dryads having a good semicircle, being able to focus fire down targets rather quickly and easily, even getting Staff of Preservation away, but they can just quickly change onto another target here as the Druid of the Claw does end up getting taken down. All right, more damage back and forth. Goblin Zeppelin Micro coming in from Foggy, trying to save those low hit point Dryads. More Scrolls of Healing being used as well as another bear gets taken down. All right, Alchemist sitting at 4.4, Priestess of the Moon sitting at 5, and more bears are getting taken out. 69 supply compared to 52, as the Dryads are starting to eat away at those bears at a much faster manner than many people thought possible. Warden, however, still looking to put pressure onto some of those other units as well, as the Warden trying to take down the Goblin Zeppelin, but there are so many other ground units here to worry about that are actually dealing damage. Ancients of War are also joining in on the battle as well to try and act as a bit of a frontline influence, perhaps absorb a bit of that damage, as the Dryads are now looking to back away once more. Continuing to move around here, the Ancient of War trying to fight back. Are we going to perhaps see some routine? 76 supply compared to 50. Moon sitting on a no upkeep and now trying to, well, entangle this gold mine on the bottom left. Meanwhile, Foggy did get to entangle this gold mine as well, and even as the Warden was forced back to try and defend the main base. All right, Ancient of War looking or about to get taken down. Priestess of the Moon coming back over, bringing along with it a 30% damage bonus for all these ranged units. As the Ancient of War gets taken down, where is the Alchemist? Alchemist retreating all the way back home, trying to heal back up. Should have dropped the Robe of Magi and picked it back up. Really wants as much mana as possible as we're getting ready into an engagement. All right, Shadow Strike onto the Warden, or the Priestess of the Moon. Priestess of the Moon having a bad day. Staff of Teleportation coming back in and now going to go ahead and healing spray all of these units here as the Ancient of War finally gets taken down. Warden could be in trouble, has a potion of invulnerability, but doesn't need to use it. Blinks out of that sticky situation there. The Druids of the Claw trying to join back in. Staff of Preservation for the save, but there is just simply too much focus fire going down as the Warden going to be using the potion of lesser invulnerability. Yes, at the last moment, 25 hit points, gets up to level 6, and suddenly Avatar of Vengeance could change things around. Avatar of Vengeance getting these Spirit of Vengeances out here onto the battlefield. This is a, well, corpse-ridden battlefield, so you're going to have maximum Spirit of Vengeances here in just a moment, poking apart at all of these Dryads. Priestess of the Moon, or Warden, able to blink away at the last possible moment. I thought I saw the arrow hitting in the back, but, well, one good ultimate deserves another, as we see Starfall transitioning as well. Starfall going to perhaps try and take down this Tree of Life. So much damage being added in here. Dryads are getting taken down as well, as we now see Goblin Tinker. So one good ultimate deserves another, which ultimately deserves another as well, as you see the Starfall trying to finish off this Tree of Life here. Tree of Life down to 94, down to 77 hit points. 2 or 1 more shot should be able to take it down, as the Alchemist looks to finish things off. There goes the main hall. Are we going to see a couple of Wisps get taken down as well? Yes, we are, as the Goblin Tinker could get taken down. No, Staff of Preservation for the save. Alchemist sitting at level 5, still has a potion of invulnerability, looking to back away, and now it is 2 bases to 1 once more. Rejuvenation. Well, Goblin Zeppelin pick up right there, 63 supply compared to 45. The Warden really wants to go after that Zeppelin flying the unfriendly skies with a whole bunch of units in its cargo bay, trying to keep them alive and well. All right. Priestess of the Moon, Staff of Teleportation, and Scroll of Healing going to head back off to the north. A lot of low hit point units to try and heal. Plenty of Moonwells, some healing spray to be brought back over as well. Where is that Priestess of the Moon? I totally lost it. All right, I'm coming back across over there. I would have thought it'd teleport here instead. All right, getting some repairs underway as well for that Goblin Zeppelin. Alchemist gonna, well, try and drink some more moon juice, as the expansion here now under a bit of distress. Goblin Tinker, that Robo Goblin, does deal significant damage against against buildings, and that building could end up getting taken down. So it is going to be 0 bases to 1 here, as the main expansion that has been mining for so long could finally, has finally mined out. Meanwhile, Wisp coming across for the detonation. So 70 supply compared to 53. Economic advantage for Moon coming back through, as we're going to be looking into an engagement here. All right, off to the side. Are we going to be able to pick apart anything at all, as the units are perhaps going to try and force an engagement, as the Druids of the Claw, well, set off a roar and now have plus 10 damage. All right. Trying to continue to poke apart all of these units here, and going after that Druid of the Claw with slow poison coupled with focus fire. Staff of Preservation for the save. Warden's on cooldown. Goblin Tinker still has another Staff of Preservation as well, as the units are fighting back and engaging. Continuing to focus down some of these units. There's an Acid Bomb across the Druids of the Claw, taking in additional damage as well, as we're going to see a second Staff of Preservation. Healing Spray now being used to try and keep all of these Dryads alive and well. That is going to be level 3 Healing Spray, level 2 Acid Bomb, as the Dryads, well, finally hope to take down a bear, as the cooldown seems to be so fast. One Druid of the Claw finally, nope, not taken down, as there's another Staff of Preservation. two heroes with Staff of Preservation able to finish off many of those units, but the Avatar of Vengeance finally taken down itself, but the cooldown on that Avatar of Vengeance still has about another 3 minutes to go. Goblin Zeppelin picking up and dropping all of those low hit point Dryads constantly, and then being able to be healed back up in a swarm very, very effectively. All right, what's going on here next? Priestess of the Moon wants to try and take down this Warden who is just hiding in amongst the battle here. Goblin Zeppelin just move off to the north, should be able to finish it off as the Warden, where is he going to try and blink off to? Blinks off to the back, creating a little bit of separation and, well, teleporting out. Coming back around, Staff of Teleportation here. Foggy with a Tree of Life in his opponent's base here, trying to set up and entangle this gold mine. There's a Starfall, and that's going to be a problem. Being able to use Starfall here. Are we going to see a Shadow Strike? Yes, we are. Staff of Teleportation. And now, well, Alchemist coming in with the heals. Not to this channeling ability is going to be a major problem. The Priestess of the Moon choosing to use Starfall at this location to stop this Tree of Life as the gold mine is currently entangled. Units continuing to back around here. Priestess of the Moon perhaps could have been a little bit closer to all of the engagement and all of the action here, as the Priestess of the Moon's Starfall is still causing problems for many of these Druids of the Claw. All right, are we going to see a Staff of Preservation? Of course we are, as the Tree of Life is looking to take down some of these units as well. All right, Robo Goblin trying to make its way back off to the north. Thank you for the follow as the Priest of the Moon of Starfall finally comes to an end. Warden blinks on into the inside but gets taken down. Level 6 Warden falls. Doesn't give level 6 to the Alchemist, as that would have been a great change as well. More damage added on. Druid of the Claw finally gets taken down. Alchemist getting a little bit more experience, but still not yet quite there. Trying to continue to heal up. There's a Scroll of Healing being used. Healing Spray could be used. The Druid of the Claw in the back side gonna end up getting taken down, not giving level 6 to the Alchemist. Alchemist still 16 experience shy from that next level there. And then once we have Transmute onto the table, I believe that should be the game, as transmuting bears will just constantly cause problems. Foggy perhaps going to try and buy a potion of mana and then just transmute bears. The transmutation ability is on an extremely fast cooldown. Is it waiting to buy? Trying to sell some items? Not 100% sure. Meanwhile, down to the south here, Robo Goblin looking to retreat back again. All right, selling some items, picking up a Scroll of Healing, and now gonna go ahead and teleport back over. Where is it gonna go next to here? Trying to take down this Tree of Life, as this Tree of Life is slowly but surely gonna be destroyed. All right, in comes a little bit of an engagement. The Tree of Life needs to, well, heal up just a little bit. There's some more Healing Spray. There was Transmute used. Where is the Warden out for? I don't believe so. No, only the Robo Goblin. There is Resurrection on that Warden, so this may be that final ditch effort once more, as the Alchemist needs to get into position here. Getting some Clarity Potions or getting something going could be a very big deal. All right, Healing Spray being used to try and save Dryads instead of trying to transmute any of those units out here on the battlefield. There's a quick roar. 59 supply compared to 48, as the Altar of Elder is going to get taken down. No resurrection possible for that Warden. Beautiful timing there, as the Priestess of the Moon able to engage back again. Alchemist keeping this army together with constant heals, as the Priestess of the Moon now pushing in again. All right, Robo Goblin trying to put in pressure. There is Starfall now. Foggy, well, laying waste to this base. Starfall taking down all of these Moonwells and a lot of the healing potential that Moon would normally have had. These Ancient of Lores down to the south, trying to train out a couple of Druids of the Claw, but they may end up just feeding more experience to the Night Elf army of Foggy. Back off to the north here, Warden was resurrected at the tavern. Still plenty of Druids of the Claw out here onto the battlefield and able to stop this Tree of Life once more. Meanwhile, the Moonwells and a handful of these buildings are all pretty much all that are left. Should be easily taken down here, absorbing quite a bit of damage indeed. Well, Starfall finally ending. Coming back to the other side, Robo Goblin able to find and take down the Tree of Life of Foggy. You can see the Robo Goblin, how much damage he is dishing, and well, that may have come as a complete surprise to Foggy there, to know that all of a sudden Moon is the only one with an expansion once again. We are turning this into a base race scenario, though, as we're trying to finish off all of these buildings. A new tree of life is being placed down by Moon at the expansion location that has changed hands a number of times. And well, this last Moon well here, off on the bottom left-hand side, the Tree of Eternity with 7 armor will be fairly difficult to take out for this piercing damage, heroic damage army. Back in the center portion of the map here, Alchemist, starting to use Transmute very effectively, trying to take down those bears. Meanwhile, we are seeing the Robo Goblin making a play back across here. We need to get some repairs onto this Ancient Protector, perhaps, as that's the only base defense here. Dryads, Alchemist now trying to make a play off across here. Goblin Shredder could end up becoming, might get Midas's touch, so to speak, as the engagement is still underway. 15 seconds left on cooldown for that Alchemist. Shadow Strike coming back around, absorbing a little bit of damage. There's some healing spray, trying to stay alive, as well as this. Well, base race is getting incredibly close. Wisps now trying to run away. Is it going to give more experience to the Goblin Tinker, who then will have a little bit more damage to deal? That is the question again, as the Tree of Eternity about to get taken down. Where is the Goblin Zeppelin, or where is the Alchemist? Yeah, Alchemist is inside the Goblin Zeppelin, and perhaps he's just trying to constantly use his ultimate ability to transmute and get more gold that way. Wisp are slowly finishing off things down to the south here. Goblin Zeppelin off to the north, trying to make a bit of a play here to go after some of these Druids of the Claw. There's a little bit of fighting and engagement. Right there it goes. All right, there's that transmute getting in a bit of gold, and now going to try and engage against these units again. All right, 45-second cooldown. Every single 45 seconds, a bear could be lost in the woods, so to speak, as we are looking at this Tree of Life about to get pressured down as well. Staff of Teleportation coming back around. Foggy's, Priestess of the Moon. There is some healing spray as well. Shadow Strike onto the Alchemist. Alchemist could be in a lot of trouble himself, and Foggy was defeated as he loses all of his buildings. All right, a lot of action and just a base race, a very tight game between the two of the best Night Elf players. Trying to keep track of the number of buildings and the heroes all at the same time, but in the end it was Moon with better map awareness, realizing that Foggy was down on buildings and with nothing else built anywhere on the map, eventually getting the loss. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments below.